Hello there, back again for another video on this Wednesday. You might have noticed I've changed my shirt. I'll mention why here in a minute. But let's have a quick chat about homeless scammers. Okay, so I live in a not so good neighborhood, so when I go out, as I just did to go get some groceries, get some breakfast, I'll usually change my shirt to something less inflammatory. I make sure that my clothing doesn't say, oh, this guy wants to stand out, or he's got something to say, right? It's just very plain, bland clothing because, I mean, there are people that fly colors around here, and by flying colors, I'm talking, I live right in the intersection of 3 different gangs, and they walk around flying their colors, riding their bikes, doing their thing, right? I don't want to be associated. If you wear colors similar to them, or if you wear clothing that advertises a certain line of clothing, if you're walking around in Tommy Hilfiger boots and jeans in this neighborhood and you're not careful, you could run into trouble. I mean, probably not. I've never run into trouble here, but you know, I just keep in the back of my mind that it's always a possibility, and so therefore I'm always aware of my surroundings. Now, when I pull into a parking lot, and you ever notice how you will see bums in parking lots, right? And, well, when I pull into a parking lot, and I'm farsighted, right? I'm not nearsighted, I'm farsighted, so I can see details from a lot farther away than I can up close. And so when I pull into a lot or I come around a corner or something, I've already looked, I'm looking immediately to the farthest areas where people are. So when you see me, chances are I've already seen you, I've already scoped you out. I don't need to make eye contact with you. I don't need to have an interaction with you. I don't need to look at you because I've already scoped you out from a distance, right? Now, believe it or not, a lot of these homeless that you see out there that appear kind of slow aren't actually slow at all. They've already scoped you out as soon as you got within sight, and so they don't have to look at you. But they're not going to let you know that. And I'll give you an example. There's this one lady that for months had been asking me for change every time I go to the store. And she, you know, like many homeless, they don't have just one spot. They keep it moving. They do a circuit. Well, I've stopped giving out change for a number of reasons. Most of which, I'm unemployed, I need to scrimp and save every penny I can. So this lady would approach in a certain manner, okay? And what I mean by that is she made herself appear a bit slow in the head. She would be stooped over, a little slack-jawed, eyes just sort of glazed and wandering, and she'd be like, excuse me, sir, could you know, sort of slurring, as if she was drunk, but there's no alcohol in her breath. And not only that, she's 200 pounds. Maybe not quite that heavy, but you get what I'm saying. She's eating. She's eating every day, right? She used to have more hair than she does now, but it's looking better. She's got access to cosmetics, to a shower. She's got access to somehow to be able to get a haircut, okay? And she appears to be in her mid-40s, maybe. She's going gray, and so one day, as I was coming out of the store, I overheard her having a conversation with somebody else. Now, the content of the conversation was, you know, outside of my grasp. I wasn't paying attention to that, but what I did notice is that in her interaction with this person whom she obviously knew, her voice was clear, her laughter was clear, the cadence of her speech was normal, and so I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm being hornswoggled here. She's making me think that she's borderline retarded. And she's not borderline retarded at all. In fact, I doubt now that she's homeless at all. I don't think she's homeless. I think she appears to be homeless. I think she puts on grubby clothes intentionally and goes out there and does what she does to make money, which is fine. I mean, if, you know, if people were willing to just walk up and hand me money, why wouldn't I take it, right? Well, I mean, there are some reasons. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be productive. I want to earn my money. But I'm not saying she doesn't work hard for it. I mean, that facade has got to be, it's got to take a little effort to keep up. But then another element to this whole thing just popped up a few minutes ago when I went to the store. I'll notice that a lot of these people will approach from the side, right? So, me being who I am, don't approach me from the side when I'm in my vehicle, right? Just don't do that. That's not cool. I immediately get suspicious of you. What are you up to? Why are you out in my periphery instead of trying to get my attention from my front, okay? When I'm busy rolling up my window, taking off my seatbelt, etc., etc., I got my eye on you. Why are you in my periphery? You shouldn't be there. That's not where you're supposed to be. You're in another car's parking space, too, by the way. If somebody decided that they were going to just dive right on in there, maybe their brakes weren't working, I mean, you'd be in some trouble. Get up on the sidewalk where you belong and approach me from the front, directly. So, when I got out, I told her this in no uncertain terms. I said, don't ever approach me from the side when I'm in my vehicle. If you want my attention, you want to approach me, you approach me from the front. And I said it just like that, in an authoritative, commanding tone. You want to know what her reaction was? Oh, man, just like that, that facade dropped. She straightened up, her eyes were clear, and she says, yes, sir. And she said, excuse me, sir, may I ask you a question? I turned around and said, no, you may not. I turned right back around and kept on going. But that facade dropped in an instant. Her back straightened up, her eyes met mine directly, and I could tell, just because of the tone of my voice and the way I, spoke, she has been confronted by law enforcement numerous times. The way I interacted with her immediately brought out that response of, oh shit, I'm crossing the line, I'm in trouble, here's somebody with authority, I don't want the situation to get any worse. Now, do I have authority? No, I don't want authority. Authority is the claim to the right to initiate violence, and no such right exists. But you know what, I'm not about to be a victim either. I'm not about to be suckered into something that, even if it's just the most minor transaction that may not harm me in the long run. The point is, if I give into it once, then where does it stop? Then they keep coming back and coming back and coming back and trying to elicit sympathy and empathy and pity. Fuck them. I'm sorry. You're not getting any of that out of me. You're not getting something out of me. And that's the entire point, that a lot of these people, I'm not talking about the people that are genuinely in need, that really are on the streets, hungry, looking for shelter, okay? Those people you can usually differentiate. You don't see those people running the same circuits all the time. No. They're looking for a real shelter. They're looking for another meal. So they're scooting, booting towards Fish and Loaves or someplace like that, right? They're not hanging out in front of liquor stores. They're not making the circuits between all the grocery stores in the neighborhood, hitting everybody up along the way. So that's the type I'm talking about. Don't be fooled by that type. And another thing, don't be intimidated by these people. Yes, a lot of them can be dangerous, but their entire game is to get something from you. It doesn't even have to be money, okay? I've had that same lady ask me for cigarettes multiple times, and I've told her no, and at first, I thought, man, why doesn't she just, when is it going to sink in? Because I've had many other bums that I've seen multiple times ask me for a change, and they might ask 3, 4, 5 times, and then after that, they just stop asking, and they just say, hey, how you doing, And that's it, because they already know you're not going to give them anything. If the answer is consistent, well, some of these people are persistent because they know that eventually most people will break down and give in and give something. Right? And that's the whole thing that they are after. They get gratification from manipulating you into giving something up. Right? Whether it's your dignity, whether it's a cigarette, whether it's your time, whether it's your attention, any little simple thing like that. Just as long as they get it from you. That's all. So be aware of these people. Don't be intimidated by them. Don't let them get anything from you. Not your time, not your money, not your cigarettes, not your attention. And if you do give them your attention, now I hate law enforcement, right? I despise cops. I loathe cops. But you know what? I understand why they use the body language they do. I understand why they use the commanding tone of voice, the authoritative tone of voice that they do. I don't know if that comes naturally to me or not, but I can tell you I've had many situations in where just a simple direct look and a hey does the trick. And it did the trick with this lady this morning. Like, don't approach my vehicle from the side. So, you know what? Pay attention out there. If these little interactions make you nervous, there's usually a good reason. Hope you're all doing great. Rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've had any similar interactions and how you deal with it. Hope you're all doing well out there. Peace out.